into DNVR Buffs Prime Time. We are live from the Toyota Lounge. We're driven by your Front Range Toyota stores. Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. God bless you.
Oh, thank you. You were wondering what's he doing.
I knew what was happening. I was waiting.
Okay, good. Thank God.
RK is away. My great friend and colleague Andre Simone is here. RK will call in here very shortly.
Big one.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. You guys get to get a call in from RK twerking on the road. You know it's a big day.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to hear from Neely, too, here very shortly.
Yes.
Obviously, Dylan Edwards has entered the transfer portal. Just a bombshell, just an absolute bombshell. Something that I think caught the fan base by surprise. But as Uncle Neely's about to tell us, they saw this coming. What do you think just after seeing this news?
How much on air had you guys talked about the possibility of this occurring a couple months ago?
0.
Okay. Is that okay for me to bring up?
Yeah.
Guess what? We're live, and I just did it.
We're going to talk about it all.
There you go.
We're going to talk about it all.
So because of those insights I was getting from you guys when we get to talk off air, I guess I was surprised.
Right.
But not as surprised as maybe the normal Buffs fan would be. And then with the signing of Dallan Hayden is, right. I knew that. Is that happening first?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And sandwich in between Alto, Dylan, and then Wilkerson.
Yeah, Sy'Veon's entered the portal too. Dallan Hayden committed yesterday. We didn't even get to talk about him yet.
Right.
Before this stuff all goes down.
Yeah.
We're going to cover it all, but let's get it rolling. Neely was dropping a lot of good nuggets today after practice.
Yes.
Whenever you're ready, Alyssa, let's see what Neely has to say. Let's get down to business.
Let's get down to business.
Sy'Veon Wilkerson entered the portal.
Yep.
And then Dylan Edwards entered the portal today. Yep. The running back room just seen a lot of attrition. What's been going on? What can you tell the people?
I can tell you what you just said. They were not at practice today. They were not in the building today. I think that this is one of those things, man, that you just have to look at the chronological order of how things happen. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just a red flag to college football out there. There are some people that do not want to compete. It is no coincidence to me that when Coach Prime announced that Charlie Offerdahl was going to be a number 2, and then we sign a running back from Ohio State, 2 guys leave.
Yeah.
This is not the environment where you're going to be guaranteed anything. Alton McCaskill, his own statement when he left, he wants to be the one somewhere. And if he's not going to be the one, he's not going. We don't negotiate like that. The best players are going to see the field. If you don't feel you can compete and become the best player, we wish you well in your future opportunities. Dylan Edwards, great guy, very talented, had much success week 1 last year at TCU. Wishing him the best wherever he lands, but it just seems chronological order-wise that he left camp because someone was coming in.
Mm-hmm. A lot of the questions are, surrounding this kind of drama right now.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us or share any insight as to why Dylan entered the transfer portal?
I haven't spoken to Dylan, right? So these are, again, just assumptions on my part based on the timeline. I do know this internally. When you look at what Pat Shurmur was developing for this offense, Dylan Edwards was part of it. You heard at his press conferences how he was now featured in the pass game and the run game. For you to have all that going for you and want to transfer for a better opportunity, because let's just keep it 100. These guys transfer for a better opportunity.
Yep.
And I can't knock you wanting a better opportunity. But I don't know what better opportunity than you have than when you're on a team with Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders, and you're still getting featured in the playbook.
Yep.
Like, I can't make sense of it where you think you're going to go and you're going to get more than that. Mm-hmm. There were schemes based on him. There were play calls drawn up based on him. As he said in a press conference a couple weeks ago, he was excited about being in the pass game. Just last week, he asked me to mic him up for practice.
Yeah.
Just last week. So when I look at the chronological order, Charlie goes up to firm 2. We sign a running back. He leaves. It just sends a message to me, you don't want to compete. Same thing with Sy'Veon. You know, he came from Jackson State with us, got here late. His waiver was approved. A lot of things were done to help him be able to transition smoothly. Scored a touchdown at TCU.
Yep.
You know, Dylan had that big day at TCU, and Sy'Veon still scored as well. So this running back room is always operated by committee, and everybody eats. But they chose to leave.
A lot of people on the outside are going to see this as a surprise. Is this a surprise inside the building that Dylan Edwards entered the portal?
Let me tell you this, and I say this sincerely, Jake. Great question. I don't know a person on God's green earth that has been gifted with the level of discernment and forecasting that Coach Prime has. None of this stuff catches him off guard. He may not know that this guy was leaving on this day, but he's a great read of body language and attitude, and and kind of seeing that a guy, is not really giving this all. Coach and I talked last night, and I tell you something I said to him, and he amened it. I'd rather find out mid-April than mid-September. Because a guy who will check out for an opportunity now will check out for an opportunity in October. So as Coach Prime will put it, God shakes a tree and the bad fruit will fall off. The fruit that's going to stay is going to be there. We're happy with what we got. There are going to be some more running backs coming in. We're going to have a fine run game, fine running back featured in the passing game. Of course, man, you cannot sugarcoat or try to diminish or water down the talent of Dylan Edwards. You can't even do that with Sy'Veon and his bowling ball style. We got to keep in mind, though, Mike has been running that ball. And so, again, it gets back to me. Some people don't want to compete anymore.
I mean, you mentioned Micah, you mentioned Charlie. I mean, this running back room is going to be a big part of this team for sure.
Absolutely.
But the story has always been Shedeur and these wide receivers, especially all of spring. Amari Miller's breakout. Micah Welsh has been one of the stories. You could even say Charlie. So while Dylan it's going to hurt. We're not going to sugarcoat it and say that this doesn't hurt because he's a very dynamic player. But the core pieces of the team are still in place.
This team is built around Shedeur Sanders. You have a once-in-a-generational quarterback. This team is built around Travis Hunter. You have a once-in-a-lifetime two-way player, right? I'm fortunate enough, I'm 53, I've seen two of them. I've seen Deion Sanders and now Travis Hunter, so I cheated. I got two in my lifetime. But most people out there only going to get to truly see this once in their lifetime. You have to predicate all you do around that talent. And how do you armor it and support it? It's much like the greatest show on turf, all right? You had those killer receivers out there, but look what Marshall Faulk was doing. Dylan could have been that, or whatever running back comes here is going to be that, because there's going to be run plays, and there's going to be situational runs where you have different backs. Man, I tell you who I think about. I think about Alton McCaskill in this. I mean, dude, if you wait a week, look how the landscape changed in just 5 business days from when he transferred. He wants to be the one. He wants to be somewhere the one. Right after he did it, the one opened up here. So, and let me tell you what we can't leave out of this. We can't leave out of the Cormani McClain part of this.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've seen statements from guys, and he's saying things like, he wanted to go to a program that wasn't click-based.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what I witnessed. I have witnessed a head coach who goes well out of his way to not tell what he could tell about these players. He leaves a lot of it up to interpretation. A lot of it is just like, no, I'm not going to do that. Let them fade, wish them well. But when you have somebody say things like that, and let me testify what I witnessed, right? I've been in a team meeting, Jake, and Coach Prime says, Cormani, you're going to start this weekend. But here's what I need for you to start. You got to be on time for meetings this week. You got to watch so many minutes of film, and you got to show up at practice. The guy hits a trifecta in doing none of them. You're told this like on a Monday, right? And you check every box of what not to do.
It's crazy, man.
But then you leave and say, well, I want to go to a program that's not about clicks. You got Kevin Mathis, Deion Sanders, now Robert Livingston. What cornerback would not want to thrive in that system?
It's a great question. And honestly, I think you just look at the offers that Cormani McClain's gotten so far. No real serious P5 offers. There was some interest, but it's all USF, UCF, who is Power 4 now, and Memphis. So I think the word is out there. What happened here with Cormani McClain and Coach Prime in this program And I think teams are obviously very aware of it.
And I don't know his high school coach, God bless him, but I've even seen him make statements now affirming what we found out. Statements that weren't made beforehand. You know, and so I think people are going to see, and again, Cormani McClain, Dylan Edwards, Alto McCaskill, Sy'Veon Wilkerson, who I knew personally from Jackson State. I wish them all the best. But this coach here, in Deion Sanders, has an open door policy. You can go talk to him any time of the day. He eats lunch in the cafeteria, rides in the elevator. When they have weight room days, he's in the weight room with them, working out and talking to them. There's not a player in this organization that can say, well, I didn't get the chance to talk to him. And then they leave without talking to him. They leave and sometimes don't even talk to their position coach. That says so much about that player than it does this organization.
There it is. Neely didn't hold back, man.
Fantastic insights all around.
Yes.
Really fantastic.
Thank you. I hope that's the general sentiment. Also, chat, you guys got to stop talking about Omari Miller saying he's leaving. He literally said yesterday he's not. You got to stop doing this. You got to stop.
Mostly because you need to focus on the news that has occurred.
Yes.
You can't be distracted looking up fake rumors.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, let our guy stay locked in on the task at hand here.
Thank you.
It's got some Dallan
Hayden.
I know.
Please,
I know.
Please. Is RK ready?
Yep.
Please is great.
Let's bring him in. There he is. What is up, brother?
Look at him.
What's up, boys? Everyone wants to talk about the Nuggets game last night, right?
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right. Slow
exactly.
news day, just Nuggets reactions is what this pod's going to consist of.
Man, I gotta say that Jamal Murray is just something else.
Oh,
Isn't he?
isn't
ever?
he? How about that Nikola Jokic triple-double, man?
Wow, that guy, he's special. What else is up? What's going on?
We want to know what you think about this, man. Dylan enters the portal. We didn't even get to talk about Dallan Hayden. Just whatever you want to go with this. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I've got a lot of thoughts, and I guess I'll just start here. I have nothing bad to say about Dylan Edwards, like legitimately, and I'm also not interested in trying to guess why he's leaving or try and piece together what I've heard with what Neely said, with any of that to be like, okay, this is why he's leaving. To me, the big takeaway here is this is a bummer. There's no like way of slicing this where you say like, oh, don't care about Dylan, that he wasn't an exciting player and you just move on and this is a nothing burger. I think you absolutely have to acknowledge the fact that this is a bummer and say, okay, he was such an exciting brand of player. He was obviously a really fun player to root for. There's a lot of things here that make you say, dang, this one sucks. But I don't think what you do is look at this and say, Dylan Edwards was a player that was going to make or break this season for the Colorado Buffaloes. And as unique as he is as a running back, and he does really bring some unique skills to the running back position, it is also, we're talking about a running back, and it is one of the most talent-rich positions in college football. So just yesterday, they get a player, from Ohio State who is incredibly talented and is behind, two of the top backs in the entire NCAA, and so he looks for an opportunity, and he comes to Colorado. And there will be another one that they can go out and find, and if they want to get a scat back, they can do that. If they want to go and just stick with like kind of the Coach Prime theme and go and get one of those bulky, stocky backs again, they can do that. So you acknowledge that this is a bummer because we wanted to root for Dylan. We wanted to see his career. You guys know I was like the number one Dylan Edwards guy, so I'm bummed about it. But this to me doesn't change the trajectory of this football team at all. And so those are my first two thoughts. And then I just have to say this. Why is it that at any other program, when someone enters the portal, it's about them? But at Colorado, when someone enters the portal, it's about Coach Prime?
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Wow.
Go ahead.
But you guys know why.
Well, yeah.
Oh, I know why. I know.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just asking a hypothetical question there, just
Yeah.
for some brain food for everyone out there. And then I put this out on Twitter, but I gotta go to this because I think it's perspective that everyone needs today. Today was the first time that something has happened in the portal this year that really, hit the fan base hard. And had everyone kind of feeling bummed. And like I just said, I totally understand anyone out there who's saying, man, that is a bummer. That's the first time all year. We are about 2 years removed from a portal period where every single day there was news like this that dropped that just broke everyone's hearts. And then there was never any rebound. There was never any good news to come on the backside of it. In the year going into the 1-11 season, which obviously got Karl Dorrell fired and led to Coach Prime being here, Colorado lost 24 players in the transfer portal. That included Christian Gonzalez, who's a first-round pick, right?
Yeah, top 20.
Yep, Brendan Rice, who will be a draft pick this year, who obviously balled out last season with Caleb Williams at USC. Mekhi Blackman, who went to USC and played really well. I mean, the list went on and on.
He's in the NFL now. Yeah.
He is. Yeah, I think plays for the Vikings.
Right.
Legit player every single day, it felt like, was entering the portal. And then you thought, okay, well, let's go see what we can get back. Well, Colorado brought in 5 players from the portal that season, and none of them were ranked a 4- or 5-star transfer. So I just want everyone to think about this in the sense of, okay, this one sucks. So it's kind of the first one that really stings as Dylan enters the portal. There was a time in the very, very short past where this was all we ever got. Now you actually have a plan and a coach in place who can get you back on the right track after someone like Dylan Edwards leaves and can refill that position, refill that scholarship with another really, really talented player. We've come a really, really long way. It's okay to say, damn it, this sucks. I'm bummed today. But as I always say, it's not a day to break a sweat on the elevator.
It's a great perspective to have. And Ryan, I could go back even further than 2 years ago when, in the last 20 years, had the Buffs lost the top 2 recruits in the same couple weeks from their previous recruiting class, would have been devastating, right? Guys you've dreamed on for entire summers, and you lose them, and it's devastating. And what Coach Prime has taught us in this new year of college football, which he has really taken this state into, is that, there's talent all over. Sometimes things don't work out. Just like in the old days, Darryl Scott, Ryan Miller, those kind of guys might not have worked out fully, but it's not something that's going to have 4-year ramifications for your program.
Yes.
You move on, you find another guy. There's a lot of talent. There's a lot of ways to acquire talent. If there's anyone I believe in at this level of college football in the specific skill of acquiring talent, it's this coach and this coaching staff. And it's certainly a bummer because you guys knew him personally. You've had him in this chair on this set. Phenomenal kid, phenomenal football player. But thank God we are in this new era and not in the olden days that Rhino and I can still remember, where this would have been a true blow.
Yeah, you're totally right. And I mean, look, I don't want to get too dark and down that path, but look at where Oregon State and Stanford and who's the other school that was a part of this that I've already forgot existed?
Cal.
Washington State. Look at where these schools are. It is I can say with 90% certainty that Colorado would be in that group right now if it weren't for Coach Prime coming here and being able to do the things that he's done. So those are my initial thoughts.
Right. We didn't even get to talk about Dallan Hayden, man.
Yeah.
And this is a guy, he committed yesterday afternoon. It seems like he may have been, I don't want to say he pushed out Dylan, but I mean, the commitment happens. Dylan enters the portal. I think they're more closely related than not. But what do you see from Dallan Hayden, and how big of an impact does he need to have on this team now? Because we have a gaping hole at running back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super, super excited about Dallan Hayden. As we talked about, I think a little bit yesterday, he is right in the Coach Prime mold of the style of running back he likes. Runs super hard, going to get downhill, going to make some people miss with broken tackles. I said this we talked, I think you mentioned it originally, but like Ohio State fans did not want to lose Dallan Hayden.
Yep.
This is a guy who obviously fell back in the depth chart because they got the, I think it's the Ole Miss transfer.
Yeah, Quinshon Judkins.
Yeah, so Ohio State gets him. They have another guy who was already factoring in to be one of the best.
Yeah, Travion stayed too, right? Travion Henderson stays in school.
Is he?
Yeah, so they have
it's
two
Ohio
of
State.
the best backs in the country.
Yeah.
The fact that he even saw the field last year and was productive as a true freshman was so impressive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so exactly. They have two of the best running backs in the country. He's a guy who they really liked out there and also has 3 years of eligibility remaining. And so it's similar to, to some of the situations you have at Colorado where the fans are like, oh, man, like you just needed to bide your time, wait your turn, and it was coming. But you can't blame a kid, obviously, for wanting to go and go somewhere where he thought he had more opportunities. I'm super excited for Dallan Hayden. And you bring up a good point because I wanted to address this. It's something I've seen a few times on social media now, which is people being like, the coaching staff messed this up by going and getting Dallan Hayden. That upset Dylan, and he transferred because of it, so they shouldn't have gone and got Dallan Hayden. And that is just not a way that you can operate your program. First of all, the reason why the scholarship in the position on the depth chart was there for Dallan Hayden had nothing to do with Dylan Edwards and everything to do with Alton McCaskill. When it didn't work out with Alton and he decided to leave, you had to add another running back. You needed another running back because you have a true freshman in Micah. You obviously have a walk-on in Charlie that we all love, and you had Dylan. And you had Sy'Veon, which we kind of had a feeling that he was heading on his way out too. So it was like, you can't go into the season with a true freshman running back, Dylan Edwards, and Charlie. You were going to have to add no matter what. I think that the timing is definitely interesting when it comes to Dylan. I don't think it's all about one thing or all about the other thing. I think there's a mix of things that all kind of came together in a perfect storm, with maybe yesterday being the catalyst that pushed it over the edge. But I'm super excited about Dallan Hayden, and I definitely don't think you can run your program not filling holes because of the way that it might make someone feel on the team.
Just one more thing I want to add in, something I saw in the comments before I went live. We still have two guys coming in Draylon Miller and Cam Michael, who were just Swiss Army knives in high school football. They played both sides of the ball. They played wildcat quarterback. They played running back. They played wide receiver.
Yeah.
So this stings. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This hurts. This, for now, you're kind of left scratching your head a bit. Where do we go from here? But you've got two true freshmen coming in, and Dylan proved last season, if you are a true freshman on this team and you have the talent and you take advantage of your opportunities, you are going to play and you could be featured in a very, very prominent role with this team.
Yeah, great point. And I think that's the biggest question that needs answering, which is who is going to play that role? Because I guess, unfortunately, at this point, Pat Shurmur has spent a lot of time trying to carve out a role for this electric scat back. And, while I think you could go out and find a fast, shifty running back out on the market right now, you might be best off giving that opportunity to Cam Michael, who we know has game-breaking speed, just like Dylan. You might even say has a little more wiggle to him. And you're a guy that you immediately knew you were going to have to look for ways to get on the field and look for ways to get him the ball. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see Cam Michael come in and get the first crack at that opportunity. Obviously, Draylon Miller, a totally different player, but another one that you can get on the field and use in situations like that. But, if you're going for the ultimate, spin on things, maybe Cam Michael comes in, takes those plays that were drawn up for Dylan Edwards, and is able to just become a star in that role.
To me, the true Dylan Edwards replacement might be Jimmy Horn. I always felt Jimmy, those two guys were kind of infringing on each other's touches,
We have speed everywhere on this offense.
Yeah,
right. Dylan was one of the fastest, definitely, but I don't think this team is necessarily slower with Dylan being gone. We still have speed at receiver. We're going to have speed at running back now. and you got freshmen coming in. So there's pieces in place. And to what RK said earlier, I mean, look, this is a running back. Running backs are plentiful in college football, and there's a lot of things you can do. I mean, and let's face the facts. Shedeur Sanders is the engine that makes this team go.
Yeah.
They're going to throw the ball a ton.
Yeah.
So while we are talking a lot about the running game this year and how improved the offensive line is, how they're going to need to lean on the running game more, this is Shedeur's football team, and we have just a room full of beasts at wide receiver.
That's exactly right.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think you do have to say you got a little bit slower just by losing a player of that caliber, that speed. But I mean, you can get creative to use these players and get them more touches. There was, it was just last week that someone was asking Coach Prime, maybe even been you, Jake, about Dylan Edwards kind of sharpening his wide receiver skills. And Coach Prime was like, do you know how good Dylan would have to be at wide receiver to crack the field in front of some of these other guys? Like, some of those little tunnel screens and, clear out screens that they had set up for Dylan, you could absolutely set that up for Jimmy Horn. You could absolutely set that up for Cam Michael or whoever it may be. So it changes things a little bit. And I think the biggest, like I just said earlier, the biggest question is, how are you going to take advantage of the time you spent trying to carve out this role and make it work and not just have that go to waste? But you said it, Jake. This is Shedeur Sanders' football team. If when you run the ball, it's Dallan Hayden getting downhill, breaking a tackle, and getting you 5 yards, 4 yards, that's going to set you up just fine. Do you like to have the home run hitting ability? Yes, of course. I mean, that's why I was so excited about Dylan Edwards, because I thought he had the opportunity to figure it out between the tackles, especially with better blocking. But at no point, and I truly mean this is not just like me coming on here trying to, calm the fan base down and whatever, send a message. At no point today have I thought this is going to hurt the win total this season.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. You got anything else, Trey?
No. Always. Well, what a pleasure. What a pleasure having our guy call into the Toyota Lounge.
Working and
some
twerking.
Perspective. Huh?
Working and twerking.
So beautiful. Yeah. Like, he's got the background. It's company colors. This guy, he knows ball,
Yeah, where are you, in a bathroom right now? What is that?
I'm in my hotel room.
Okay.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
On the couch. I don't like the shadow that's like on my face. It's making my eyes look black, which is kind of scary to me. But maybe that's only on my end.
Your hair's less like shaped up than usual. I blame the background. Yeah. It's not the same crazy volume you bring to the table usually.
Well, I'm on the East Coast, and so the Nuggets game didn't start till like 10:30 or whatever it is last night.
Yeah.
And then like, how the hell are you supposed to go to sleep after that?
I know.
So, and I had to be up at 6:30 this morning. So
that's brutal.
I joy scrolled Twitter until 3:30 a.m. And then finally went to sleep and then woke up at 6:30. So I didn't exactly get my beauty rest, but I'm about to go to an event where I have to, get suited and booted. So I'm going to find a way to be the freshest RK I can be.
Dang.
I've seen you do this in Vegas on Little Sleep, bro. I believe you have it in you.
Damn, I'm totally going to this hotel bar and ordering a Red Bull tequila, and I'll be back in a second.
Go.
Elite call.
Love it, man. Thanks for calling in. Crazy day. So much to get into, but appreciate you hopping on for a bit.
Of course. Good luck, guys.
Thanks,
brother.
All right.
So much to get into, Jake.
A lot. And we only have 45 minutes to do it, so we're going to hit this ad break real quick, and then we will get right back into it. Shout out to our wonderful friends over at Toyota. Toyota, always dependable, gets you where you need to go.
Yes, sir.
Whatever your objective is. If you just need a daily commuter, they got Camrys, they got Corollas, they got all that stuff.
Right.
If you're adventurous, if you're going into the mountains like our guys, the Nuggets guys with Miroslav.
Yeah.
You take one of those 4Runners or a Tacoma, something up there, and it'll get the job done.
Yep. So you got it down, man.
Thank you.
Very
I
good.
try my best,
Very
brother.
good.
You guys in the Toyota chat can visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is a proud partner of CU Athletics and the official vehicle of DNVR.
Yeah, and let me also tell you about Bet365, our betting partner, the one betting partner you can get DNVR custom bets. May have planted a seed across the pond to get a little Buffs boost this summer.
Ooh.
But to make y'all feel good, them feel good, and ourselves feel good, we're launching this new awesome 6-week giveaway with Bet365. First couple weeks, all you got to do is sign up using our code DNVR365. Send us an email at promo@allcitynetwork, and you may be chosen as a lucky winner to win a DNVR t-shirt, hat, or other swag. And if you participate with us every single week, you'll be eligible for new prizes every week and then be eligible for a big DNVR prize at the end. Could include going to practice with one of your favorite podcasters, hopping on one of our shows. Sky's the limit. So if you're a true diehard, show us. Go on Bet365. Sign up using our code DNVR365. And also, as soon as you place a $5 bet and that's settled, win, lose, or tie, they'll give you $150 in bonus bets as well. Incredible deal. Now's the time. Playoffs, NFL draft, you've got it all. Must be 21 plus and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER.
Boom. All right, back here on the show,
yes.
I just want to kind of go back into Dylan Edwards real quick, and then we can get into Dallan Hayden and kind of move forward.
Absolutely.
Because you alluded to it off the top, and look, I'm not going to... There's some things that I think don't need to be shared at this point, but Neely said it too. This wasn't a surprise, and for multiple reasons.
Internally, right.
Yeah, internally, there were some rumblings that this could happen going back to the last transfer portal period. Dylan came back, stuck it out. They were building the offense around him. This obviously hurts. There's no way to get around that. Like, I love Dylan too. Like, Dylan's one of my guys on this team. So,
right.
It's just a bummer in multiple regards. But again, as RK said, this is a running back. And as much as it hurts, running backs have been devalued in this game.
Well, and a bit of more of a, at this point, at this juncture in his career, he was more of a third down running back. Pat Shurmur had to find him a role, right? That's not what you're going to have to say about a lot of these other running backs who you can just plug in the backfield and hand them the ball, right? You don't need to design anything complex. And I think those designs will still work for other members of this running back room and guys like Jimmy Horn, who we just alluded to, right? Mm-hmm. So incredible talent, incredible to have that game-breaking home run hitting type of speed and big play ability, but you had to really construct that and build around him. Mm-hmm. He was more of a luxury than a necessity, speaking purely in football terms. And I really don't mean to take away from the loss or sugarcoat it, but truly from a football standpoint, that's how I see it, especially having, studied Pat Shurmur's offense in depth and having a better understanding of it. And it's like Neely was saying, I mean, this offense is constructed again around Shedeur Sanders. To another extent, it's constructed around Travis Hunter, two kind of once-in-a-generation type of quarterback and playmaker. And the rest, you fill in the gaps, Yes. I mean, the running game better be better because you have an O-line that should actually be able to stand up.
Yeah.
If everything goes as planned, the running game is going to be way better.
Yep.
I find it really interesting. You guys alluded to Michael Welch maybe being running back 1 at the time being, Charlie being running back 2. And I think maybe that's where Unk is coming from in the when he says aren't interested in competing. Is that, he'd lost some ground. That doesn't mean it was over, done and dusted.
Right.
But he had some ground to make up here in the offseason. And
yes.
he'd lost some. And that doesn't mean that Pat Shurmur wasn't trying to include him and build the offense around him, right? So both things can be true at the same time. But it sounds like maybe he wasn't having the greatest offseason. And some of these young guys in that running back room are.
I mean, he was having a decent offseason, but you could see the writing on the wall. As you said, Micah was having a great spring. Charlie is just burst onto the scene. He keeps getting better and better. Coach Prime promotes him to second team. And I think Dylan, in his mind, and when I talked to his high school head coach, he mentioned this too, I think he sees himself as a 3-down back. And you just got to look at his size. And I think, Coach Prime and the staff took that into account. They took Micah. They took Charlie. And obviously Dallan Hayden now into account.
Yeah.
And realize this is still going to be a committee type thing. Like, you can be the guy, but being the guy here isn't going to be 25, 30 touches. No one really does that anymore unless you're just an absolute beast.
And I mean,
you're looking at 10 to 15 a game.
In this offense, right, just from more of an outside football perspective, this offense, a Pat Shurmur offense, Dylan Edwards isn't a 3-down running back. Not right now.
Yeah.
He needs like 2 more years in the weight room to get there.
Yeah, so we're gonna miss him, man. There's no way around that.
Right.
They do have speed coming in. Dylan was probably one of the fastest, if not the fastest player on the team, so that's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
We mentioned his return ability too.
Oh yeah.
And how that was gonna factor in. So yes, there's holes that are gonna have to be plugged from this, but the foundation of the team is still in place. It's next man up. That's just the mentality. And to go on to our next point, Dallan Hayden yesterday committed at 3:00. And this guy was a very talented recruit coming out of Memphis, Tennessee. He was a 4-star player, a top 300 player in the 2022 class. And he's got that 5'10", 205 size. I posted a highlight reel yesterday of his game against Purdue, I think, last year. It was like 11 carries for 76 yards. And you look at that, and it's Ohio State. There's a lot of gaping holes that the running backs are able just to run through. But this Ohio State is a running back factory.
Sure is.
So we are in good hands. And again, the way that Ohio State fans reacted to this one, just when he entered the portal, they were bummed, man. They saw a lot in Dallan Hayden. So we're getting a real football player here, a guy who's going to be able to come in and contribute to this backfield. And whether it's him starting and being the one, or it's Micah or Charlie, they're all going to get touches through this. So
and you've got a lot of touches to kind of allot to that really deep wide receiver room. So I think that factors into this too. Hayden, though, man, the production, 663 rushing yards. As a true freshman with 6 touchdowns. And usually you come into Ohio State as a true freshman, even if you're a 5-star guy, not going to get a ton of carries. He gets 130 carries. Coming in as a 3-star probably exceeded expectations based on that recruit. Oh, my bad. Saw 3-star on your right up here.
3-star transfer.
Yes. There you go.
I'm sorry.
And when you watch the tape, I got into the Maryland game.
Yeah. He went off.
There are gaping holes, but you can see the change of direction. You can see that ability to kind of plant the foot and go. Easy acceleration. Maybe a little more quicker than fast. And then when he's in the open field, this guy loves to lay his shoulder into a defender and fall for those extra yards. He has a physicality and downhill style to his running ability, despite having that quickness and ability to, that quick acceleration. And he's probably more of a speed back than he is a power back. He's got a little bit of both. And you've got a good young groom with him and Micah, man. You have some stuff to really be excited about.
Absolutely. And we'll get to Rashad Amos here in a second, but going back to his freshman season in 22, Ohio State was dealing with injuries. Travion Henderson, I think, was hurt a lot of that year. And to have the true freshman in Dallan Hayden come in and really show his worth, and then he got kind of shuffled back into the fold last year as Travion comes back. This is a guy who's ready to come in and work.
Yeah.
He's ready to come in and compete. Man. And I think we're getting a really good football player out of him.
Yeah. So, I think this kid's the real deal, and it's how many years of eligibility left?
I think he has 3 years of eligibility. So he only played in 3 games last year, so he's got a red shirt.
It's kind of a big deal.
Yep.
It's kind of a big deal. So I'm really excited about him.
Yeah, I'm going to write a film room up on him. It's probably not going to be till after the spring game, though. So sometime next week you can expect that. Dig into those performances, Maryland, Purdue. That's really when he went off
Right.
and showed his true potential. Rashad Amos, though.
Yes.
Or I think that's...
Rashad
that's
Amos sounds exactly right. My goodness, is this young man got some size to him, huh?
This guy is a beast.
234, Jake?
Yeah.
Boy,
Yeah.
it's been a minute.
It has been a minute. Listed on Miami, Ohio's website at 6'2", 234 from Fayetteville, Georgia. So he started his career in 2020 at South Carolina. Played in 3 games, only got 18 carries. Did not play in 2021. Played in 10 games, it says, in 22, but only got 2 carries. So he enters the transfer portal. Commits to Miami, Ohio last year. Becomes their starting running back. Runs for over 1,000 yards, over 10 touchdowns, 13 touchdowns, 5.1 yards per carry, and re-enters the portal.
Yes.
I think he entered, I can get it for you exactly here in a second, but he was a part of the last portal period.
23rd, December 23rd.
Yeah, exactly. So he was in the initial portal opening after the season ended, and we mentioned him on this show. And he kind of hung around in the portal, didn't commit. He committed to Mississippi State on April 13th. This is like 10 days ago.
Yeah.
And then on 3 reports, he's coming to Colorado to visit this week. I'm sorry, that's a massive flex by Coach Prime and this staff. You're getting a committed transfer to come and visit you.
And transfers move a lot quicker than high school recruits, right?
Yes.
So this does mean quite a bit. If this was some high school junior going into the senior year and they just committed to one school and they're coming to visit you, it's kind of like, yeah, wake me up when it gets serious. This instead feels like a much bigger deal.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you came from South Carolina, why would you want to go to Mississippi State, man?
I mean, and they're going to throw the ball over there, too. It's going to happen here, but you're not playing in an air raid here in Colorado. This is going to be a more pro-style system with Pat Shurmur.
Yeah, downhill running style is what he brings to the table, and it's what you could really do. And, I mean, he did not get a ton of carries last year, Jake. He ran for over 1,000 yards out at Miami of Ohio. He only had 3 games with over 20 carries.
Yep. So he could potentially be another piece to this backfield. I do think they'll go out and seek to add one more running back, especially since we haven't touched on this yet, but Sy'Veon Wilkerson also entered the portal too. So he'd
be the perfect upgrade there, I say, on Sy'Veon.
Yes. So we'll see. There's stuff happening here in regards to this team and the running back position.
Is it the position that's most barren right now, do you think?
I do not think so. I still think it's tight end. Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah.
For sure. He'd be a massive get, though. That'd be exciting.
Yeah, definitely.
And interesting what Unc was saying about Alto. You know, he just waits a week and maybe things feel differently, but...
So the portal, you can come back if you want.
Yeah.
From what I've heard, there will need to be a little bit of mending on both sides of the relationship for that to happen.
Yeah,
but
I believe it.
I wouldn't necessarily rule it out at this point. I'd probably still lean that Alto just goes somewhere else in the portal. That's just what happens.
Yeah.
But I won't say never with that situation.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to practice today. We've got some clips from pressers. They're up on our channel if you want to watch the whole thing. We had Coach Livingston, the defensive coordinator, and then our guy Silmon-Craig came on the podium. The rest of that video with Uncle Neely, too, that's up on our channel and his channel as well. It's got practice takeaways from today. Shador's been balling. Omari Miller's been balling. Neely actually said Mark Vassett, the punter, was player of the day.
Yeah,
He's
love
just
that.
booming them and coughing cornering.
So, right.
So, yeah, that's about what's gone on today. Let's get to press conference clips, though. Here is Coach Livingston on what he's seen from Cam and Shiloh so far at spring football.
Yeah, I think they've done a great job. I tell them all the time, leaders got to lead from the front, and I think that's their key, right? They are the heartbeat of this defense, right there in the middle. They're our quarterback. That's how we run the meetings the way that we run them. They've got a vested interest and a say in this defense. I think communication is imperative, and they've done a great job grasping where they fit in the defense. And once you do that, the game slows down. So really pleased with Cam, with Shiloh, with Duke, with Herm, really with all of them. We've had buy-in from the whole group the whole time. So very lucky to be coaching that position.
I just really wanted to ask Coach that. He obviously played the position. He scouted the position, coached the position in Cincinnati, developed the position. So, we've seen Cam and Shiloh really, lock down starting safety roles, but I just wanted to hear it from him, what he's seen from them so far.
Yeah, and we've talked about how key of a position that safety spot is in this defense and the versatility that's required for it, right?
Yep.
So no, I'm glad you got to ask that. Pretty cool.
And then next one we have from Coach Livingston. We've talked about Jesse Bates a lot, the former Cincinnati Bengals safety, now the Falcons safety, and how that he is one of the calling cards in showing what Robert Livingston's capable of, really. And so our guy Scott Proctor, he was able to ask Coach Livingston about that.
Yeah, that's a great role model, I think, especially every Tuesday when he gets a check. But, Jess is the best. Jace came to me as a 20-year-old kid, ability to go kind of red line to red line. Jess was not that big his rookie year. I almost said freshman. I'm getting indoctrinated in college. And his ability to play the deep part of the field was rare. And that's why he is who he is. So, with Shiloh, that's something we strive on, I think, nowadays. Kids like watching people they can be like. So there's some examples that way with Jesse, with Justin Simmons, with those guys who play in the post and go get the ball for sure.
So there you go. And then our guy Cam comes on the podium. He was asked a lot about Coach Livingston, this defense, of course, but he was also asked because right before the podium and press conference started, Dylan officially entered the portal, or it was announced that he will enter the portal. So Cam was asked about, seeing his guy Sy'Veon and Dylan enter the portal and what that means for his team.
Honestly, everybody made the best decision for them. I'm not going to jump on a hate train of them guys. For the most part, them guys are family, brothers for life. For the most part, them guys made the best decision for them. As a man, I'll be wrong to tell you not to make the best decision for you. Because if I had a different feeling, you know what I'm saying, I'll make the best decision for me. So it's no bickering us and that's some guy it's just a business at the end of the day. It's all this is a business, so I don't think too much of it.
It's a business.
Sure is. We've learned that quickly here in a year of Coach Brown, huh?
No doubt.
But I like how he goes about business.
Cam is all about business.
Yeah.
The dirty business too, on the field, classroom, whatever has to be done. Cam is he's awesome, man.
Those workers, man, it's what separates the real ones from the ones who never quite worked out.
Yep. He's a grinder. Cam was also asked, obviously he plays defense, just going against Shedeur, and what it's like been watching Shedeur just grow and grow as a quarterback in his career.
He's taking he's growing into himself more and more every year I've seen him. This year he knows he's great. He's working to be that number one quarterback of the board, and I know he's gonna get there. So he's him. You know what I'm saying? He's him. He's been him since I met him. So he's right where you want to be. He's ready to take over now. Thanks, Kim. Appreciate it.
So there it is. That was practice today.
He's him.
He is him, man.
You're him.
Thank you. So are you, brother. But Shedeur has just been dicing up everyone at practice. He just surgical, bro.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
It's exciting. Now I'm super duper invested because I want the Broncos to draft him too. So
let's go.
It's just
let's go, baby.
We're all in. We're all in. So
Thursday has now become the biggest day of my life. No, come on, Alyssa. I told you yesterday we need faith in the process here.
It's true.
All right.
It's really true.
Still a lot to get to. So real quick, shout out to our good friends over at Coors Light. I'm going to need a Coors Light after today. It has been
it sounds like it.
a hell of a 24 hours, let me tell you that.
But the mountains will turn blue for this program, Jake.
The mountains are, if they're not blue already,
right?
They are chilling up there. Trust
me. See, this guy gets it, just like Coors Light gets it.
Yes, come down to the DNVR bar or come out to our tailgates this year. Hang out with us. Crack a cold Coors Light. We've got them on drafts in cans here at the bar. Make the most out of the times you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Nicely done, Jake. And this is that time of year. You got to come to the DNVR bar, the Mecca. Every single day, basically, we're having a playoff watch party. Avs tonight, Nuggets tomorrow. There's still some space. Hasn't been too crowded for these Avs games. So you can make it here. Massive game 2. Tomorrow's going to be a big one for the Nuggets in LA. I expect this crowd to be just off the chains. Obviously, yesterday was like an all-timer. You'll remember the rest of your life where you were. And where you were could be at the DNVR bar. Of course, we'll be at the draft party on Thursday up at the Breckenridge Brewery Farmhouse eating delicious food. Already sold out of tickets there. We do have some Rockies takeovers coming up in the summer, May 26th, so check those out. Those are always a good time. I mean, Coors Field, best park in all of Denver to just hang out, have a Coors Light, chill. So yeah, man, I mean, it's huge for us to support us. You'll be blown away by how fun our events are. And obviously, it's this great community you know online. It's there for you in person at all these great events. So follow us on social at DNVR_sports or go to thednvr.com/events to check out our whole event calendar. It's a good time. And rest of the way, it's just like, forget about it.
Thursday is going to be a legendary day here.
It really is.
It's the first road game of the series.
Yep.
The Nuggets could take a commanding 3-0 lead. No one's going to be down at Ball, of course, because it's in LA.
Right.
Everyone's going to be here.
Dude.
Get here early.
Truly. And, golf tournaments coming up all summer. I mean, you name it. It's hard to even keep track of all the events we have. In fact, it's a 3-man department now. So, yeah, check us out and join in on the fun, man.
Yes. Okay, some things we got to go through quickly here. We can do it.
Yeah.
We're going to get to the chat very quickly here, actually. Get your questions in now in the Toyota chat. We already mentioned Dylan. We already mentioned Sy'Veon. J.J. Hawkins has also entered the portal. He came in from Ole Miss. Didn't do too much on the field last year. Was a nice player to help kind of set the culture. Great practice player. But it's the golf balls, guys. We're getting better players in every portal period. Defensive line's getting better. This is exactly what happens.
Yeah, and I mean, it was way more of a shock to the system last year when this was going on, right? I just got enamored with all these transfers, and then guys are leaving, and it's like, well, I just started loving this guy. I was hyped about him this season. And especially after the spring game, as I've seen some mention in the chat. More turnover, and that's okay.
Yes.
Trust.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't sweat going up the escalator. Cam Warchuck, the long snapper, has also entered the portal. He is the second one, I believe. Jacob Polite also entered the portal. That's my guy.
Dang.
So we'll see what happens there.
All-time great Buffs jerseys to have.
Yes.
Polite or Warchuck on the back.
Yeah.
I'll still allow it. I won't judge you.
News for the first game of the season. The season opener.
You're so hyped about this.
About what?
The new game time.
The new game time? The first game of the year against North Dakota State has been moved to Thursday. It was scheduled for that Saturday, the 31st. It is moved to August 29th. That is a Thursday. I've already seen people saying, I might have to get a new hotel and stuff. This is probably going to be a night game. Like, honestly, I think the latest or the earliest this game would start would be 5:30 out here. So
yeah, it's a Thursday game. It's going to have to be a night. It'll be after the week 0 Saturday.
Yes.
And before the week 1 Saturday. Mm-hmm. So, all eyes on the Buffs. Pure ecstasy.
Yes, we're going to be in the spotlight game 1. As if we weren't, but like we have it all to ourselves now.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Cody Williams has entered the NBA draft.
Yes. Yep.
This is not a surprise. This was going to happen. I mean, I think everyone knew this was going to happen going back to 14, 15 months ago when this kid committed.
That's the deal we entered, right?
Yes.
Was a one and done deal. Let's try to get your stock as high up as we can and go from there.
Luke O'Brien commits to Georgia Tech. I actually just saw him today. Good to see him. We wish him well as well. So, yeah. And then most recently on Twitter, Wyatt Hummel, former Villanova offensive lineman, is going to be visiting Boulder tomorrow.
Wow.
And then I had something else on here.
Nova O lineman. You don't talk Villanova football that much, do you?
Usually not. I thought a Michigan State running back entered the portal too, with a starting running back last year, but I thought I retweeted it, but I'm not seeing it. I don't know if the tweet was deleted or not. But just goes to the point that we were talking about earlier. And also, I've got something to say real quick because I've seen this online and I've seen this in the comments. People coming after Coach Flea.
Jalen Berger?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does seem like that's happening. The listed as their third stringer from last year entering the portal. Story from 55 minutes ago. And I'm so sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
As it sounded like you were getting into something of greater importance.
Well, I want to... Let me see if I can find this, because I swear, yeah, it's Jalen Berger. That's who it is.
Yeah. Former Wisconsin transfer.
Yes.
Not bad.
So we'll see. We'll see, guys. We got to get through the Rashad Amos visit first. Back to Coach Flea. A lot of people are like coming after Coach Flea for some reason because of this stuff, when it's the players making decisions not really related to Coach Flea. And I don't think Coach Flea is the reason why they're entering the portal. It's just, it's about playing time, yes. And you go, who manages the playing time for the running backs? The running backs coach. To a degree, yes.
Yeah.
But it's not, I guarantee you, and just from everything I've heard, Coach Flea's name has not come up once when it's come to Alton, when it's come to Dylan, when it's come to Sy'Veon. So y'all got to cut that out, man.
Look, guys, we all love this stuff. We all get attached. And it's a beautiful thing, right? Passion is a fantastic thing. It's what enriches our lives, and it's what makes sports so cool. Have some perspective, though.
Yes, thank you.
Have some perspective with the kids, with the people who this is their livelihood, this is their jobs. Now, look, grown men are grown men, and they're getting compensated and taken care of. So, it's you act how you want to act. I'm not your mom, but
it's just the people who are like, oh, Coach Flea's got to do a better job of, relating to his players and trying to retain his players. The running backs loved Coach Flea. This has nothing to do with Coach Flea. There's a lot of factors at play, especially when it comes to Dylan and why he decided to leave.
Absolutely.
Donate to 5430 Alliance. That's all I'm going to say.
Yep. It's a good point. Wonder how much that factors into the Amos visit, too, in fact.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
To the Toyota chat we go. We have 15 minutes with you guys. Fire away. I'm sure there's a lot going on in here. What do we got? Marlene asks, how did MLC do at Arizona after leaving CU after the spring game? Another guy. I love Montana, man.
Yeah.
Pulling up his stats right now.
I remember being on a show last offseason around this time where Jordan Tyson had transferred to Oklahoma, UCLA? I forget where he even landed.
Arizona State.
And turns out that I don't remember hearing anything about him last.
Well, he did tear his ACL second to last game at CU.
Right. Oh, okay.
So he was recovering for a long time.
Yeah.
I will say I've just kind of seen some of the PHNX Sun Devils clips and stuff. Jordan Tyson looks like Jordan Tyson, so good for him.
That's great.
Montana last year, 28 receptions, 296 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Skill positions, man, there's a lot of competition around the country.
I mean,
a lot.
Arizona's got one of the better wide receiver rooms in the country, too. So,
I mean, we see it in the draft every year, man.
Yep.
Just stud running backs barely getting drafted.
Yeah.
Superstar wide receivers falling way down the board. All-America type talents.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kyron Williams, remember that? Wasn't that crazy?
Here's the thing, man. There's a lot of schools playing football around the country, and there's only so many footballs and touches to go around.
Yep. Sunshine, is Charlie RB number 1?
I believe the quote was RB2, yeah?
I guess so now when you go by that. I mean, but when we line it up and it's for real against North Dakota State in August, I think it's Dallan Hayden.
What about in the spring game? Who do you think gets lines up in the backfield for the first play of the game on offense? Because that technically would make him RB1, wouldn't it?
How do I say this?
Oh, man. Our guy knows, huh? Our guy knows. That's fun. I feel like
the running back room is not exactly healthy right now. And we've lost 3 of them in the last week. So we'll see.
Okay. Fair enough.
Jay asked, where's the best Chinese food or pizza spot in Boulder? I'm going to need that when I'm out there in October. Oh, man, you're putting me on the spot right now.
This is really a Ryan question.
What is it, Alyssa?
Cosmos is being thrown out there for us. Yeah, that's a good one.
Chinese
I gotta
is
say,
tough.
Colorado hasn't given me the best results on the Chinese food side.
I mean, there's a lot of.
But I'm sure Ryan. I think Ryan might have worked delivery for a Chinese place.
That's
in Bowl.
right.
So he'll know. Jay, we're putting this on the back when Big Dog comes back. We're giving you the full breakdown. Okay.
Yes.
We're not gonna stay here and give you half and half answers.
Yeah, I apologize, Jay. Come back on Thursday or Friday, and we will have a much better answer.
This guy just lives, breathes, and watches ball. Good food places in a place that he works in basically all the time. He doesn't know. No clue.
I mean, honestly, whenever I actually have time to get food, like after going up to see you and stuff, I'm usually hitting like Westminster and like stuff along 36 on the way back. I'm not really staying in Boulder to eat.
Right, that mall up McCaslin.
Yes,
nice,
yeah, exactly.
I know.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I know ball.
You do. Raquel, how many players from last year are still on the team? I can't answer that exactly, but I can tell you how many have left from last year's team.
Well, the whole starting O-line.
The whole starting O-line, I mean, so it's crazy. Today I'm sitting in the ticket office at CU just getting, sending stuff, getting stuff put up. And they have that video board, right? And they haven't changed it for a while. It's been, I guess, 8-ish months now because it was after TCU they changed it, just kept it TCU highlights, and they haven't touched it since.
Oh,
and
man.
so I'm watching, Dylan score 4 touchdowns down there. I'm seeing the whole offensive line is gone.
Yeah.
Zay's on to the NFL. Miles Slusher making the game-winning tackle in there.
He's gone.
Like, it's crazy, but
tight end room's completely different.
yeah, Harrison's gone, like all these guys. But if you go to
Cormani
DNVR.com, go to the Prime Tracker. I've got this all written out there for you, including Dylan. So who am I missing today? Dylan Sy'Veon
and Wilkerson, right?
Yeah, Dylan Sy'Veon. I've got Hawkins in there and Warchuck. We're at 41 transfers out since the end of the season.
Okay. 41 transfers out.
Including walk-ons, by the way.
And with Dallan Hayden, we are at 29 in, it looks like, per your count.
Yep. 30 now. Or yeah, I did it yesterday. That's right. And more to come. More to come.
No one does roster math like you, Jake.
I'm trying. It's a lot. It's a lot. Miss TNF, hi, young man. How are you guys doing? Did Bishop Thomas ever find a team? We are doing great. Hope you're doing well. Also, I do not know what the deal with Bishop is. I think he still might be at CU, just not on the team. but I don't know exactly.
Miss TNF, young man, thank you. God bless you.
When's the last time you got a young man, Dre?
Bro, it's been you go from being carded all the time and like, oh, you look so young. I thought to like just like, bro, I don't need to see your ID. Like those lines under your eyes tell me everything I need. Like I see you've seen some stuff. So that means so much to me. Thank you.
Come to think of it, I can't remember the last time I got it either. So I guess I'm getting up there.
It's been a minute. That Nuggets game got me last night. I'm tired, brother.
Man,
I'm tired.
They went down by 20, and I go on to Bet365, and I see they're plus 475 on the money line, and my dumbass doesn't take it.
Oh, well, that's why they came back. You
Maybe,
basically won them the game by not taking it.
But I went to look because I was like, this is what happens in these games. The Nuggets just come back.
I was doing that at halftime, and the best I could find was like plus 160. I was just like, down 15. I already had a bunch of bets on them, so it was like I don't need to jump in further.
I barely missed an SGP again yesterday. Anthony Davis got me. I took his under.
Oh,
and
come on.
I mean, he went on fire in the first half. So but everything else I think hit. So
yep. Trevor asking, saying I like Charlie to start now. What do you think, Jake?
I think that obviously from what Coach Primus said in the running back depth chart, he's next up. But I would not rule out Dallan Hayden or Michael Welsh at this point.
Yeah.
I think they're all going to play, by the way. They're all going to play.
Frankly, when I watched the Draylon Miller tape, offensively, I think his best fit is running back.
He compares himself to Debo, and that's what Debo is. He's like the perfect slash player right now in the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if Draylon if this guy takes 3 carries a game and is able to get a few first downs from that,
right,
we are cooking.
Right. Between him, Jimmy.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's up, Angela? Has the super team in college been killed by the portal? Teams can keep their top 22. They can't keep their top 50. Where Dylan goes, the number 1 there will leave.
Boy, this is my kind of question.
Go in.
Phenomenal from Angela, thinking of the bigger, long-term repercussions to this kind of stuff for our sport. Love this. Yeah, I think she's spot on. We're seeing this at Georgia. You're seeing this at Bama.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Ohio State maybe is the one team that's debunked this offseason, at least.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, for the most part, it's really hard to hang on to all your guys. And I mean, I guess Dallan Hayden's a perfect example of how even at Ohio State, you can maybe hold on to your top 22, pay those guys, you let your quarterback go, you get another, what you hope is an upgrade at quarterback, but still you're promising backup or third string running back who's in that top 50. It's going to be very hard to retain. Yep. And so I think you're exactly right, Angela. This has created more parity in our sport. It's
it really has.
Thing.
Yeah.
Washington, 4 years ago, a team like Washington can't be built in just a season or two and make the playoffs.
No. I mean, the portal is good and bad. It gives and takes, right?
Certainly does.
But
it's a lot like the free market.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But it's leveled the playing field. It's given the players more power, which I think is awesome. But I think we can all agree there needs to be just a little bit more structure, especially when it comes to NIL.
Yeah, the NIL stuff.
There's a lot going on.
It's the collectives that's the real issue.
Exactly. There's a lot of money being thrown around and a lot of promises, and a lot of it is just it's not football, and that's what I don't like about it. But Coach Prime's on the forefront of this about trying to utilize the portal to build a roster, to build a team. And I think the days of saying you can't, build a team, you can't plug all these holes through the portal are completely over. It's done.
100%.
Everything's on the table in the portal now. Everything.
100%.
How many running backs do they have on the team? Jesse asks.
3 with Dallan?
So Dallan, Micah, Charlie, and then we have Christian Serum, who was a walk-on.
Okay, 4. You have a couple athletes, as we've talked about early, who just came in as recruits or might not even be on campus yet.
No, they're not there. They were finishing out their high school basketball seasons.
So 5'6", who are like athlete question marks in that sense.
That's all we got right now.
Yeah.
So, they're going into the portal for another running back.
Yeah, and guess what? That makes them a really attractive landing spot with that shallow of a running back room and everything that comes with, the kind of hype this program has going for it.
This is the power of Coach Prime.
And Shedeur, frankly.
Absolutely.
Who doesn't want, you share a backfield with that guy.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Not bad.
That's the power of those guys is you can afford to lose a guy like Dylan Edwards, and it's going to sting. It's going to hurt. But you are so attractive to these portal players and just so attractive to anyone who's not already there to want to come and play there that you're going to get someone eventually. You may not be able to replace Dylan right away, but you're going to get another body in there who's at least going to soften the blow and at least be able to produce and give you, in terms of last year's production, what Dylan was able to do. You probably won't be able to find that explosiveness out of the portal, but you're going to find solid production. You're going to at least be able to plug the hole and find a stopgap for this season.
Right. 1,000%.
Gabe asks, what are the chances we land the almost kid from Mississippi State? I truly don't know. He's coming here on a visit, though, so better than I think many people would think. I mean, he is committed, but he's coming here for a reason.
Yeah, and we talked about him a little earlier, Gabe, so check that out because very interesting visit to come this week, and especially given all the news from the last 24 hours.
Yes, and last thing, Coach Prime's their conversion rate of getting transfers to visit and then commit is
very high,
through the roof.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's coming here is a good sign. On to Super Chats we go. Be More asks, why did they change the first home game date? I have already bought tickets and made reservations. I'm coming from Virginia. It's a mess. LOL, I'm coming. Appreciate you, Be More. Hopefully you get to make it through. We tried to put a warning out that this game was going to be moved a few months ago. Again, we only know so much, but we tried to put the heads up there that this game is probably on the table to be moved. Why did they change it? Because it's Coach Prime in Colorado, and they wanted to give him their own day. That's why they changed it.
Yeah. Cream. Yep. The Wu-Tang song, go listen to that. Yes. That's why they changed it.
Don Peasy. Following Coach Prime and CU football has been like watching Game of Thrones. All-time great show, but don't pick a favorite guy because they are bound to go. What an analogy.
It's pretty good.
Don Peasy with another one. Actually watching college football, period, is Game of Thrones. The portal is going to create parity overall, and I actually love it. Hate collectives, though. Don Peasy, you are spot on, brother.
That's much more what it is. Yes. Yes.
You are spot on, brother.
Yeah. We're Game of Thrones post-Dragons. Life's a little more political, a little more messy. Yeah.
Also, Dragons is coming back this summer. I am hyped.
Dude, I love that.
I cannot wait.
Big Teasy here.
Our guy. Do you want to read the super sticker? I'll give you super sticker honors.
Jeez, I walked right into this. Lemon character and Baby Lemon blowing a party horn while marching. Holy cow.
Incredible.
Holy cow. As I was reading that out loud, I was like, what am I walking into? Big Teasy, that was a roller coaster ride. Thank you for the excitement this beautiful afternoon.
All right, it's 3:00. We got to get out of here. We got to let the Nuggets guys set up.
Yeah. Though boring day, they probably don't even need to go on air today.
Yeah, what are they going to talk about today?
I know. Maybe Dylan, we can get their thoughts. Dallan Hayden, what do you think?
Yes.
What do they think his role could be in the Pat Shurmur offense?
Yeah, they probably need to fill some air today so they can speculate about Colorado's running back room also.
I think so.
But shout out to you, chat. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate the support. We are off tomorrow. Are we doing draft tomorrow?
Thursday.
Okay, so we are completely off tomorrow. Well, not completely. I am going to work on getting that Omari and Miller Q&A out, so that should be out sometime tomorrow. And then
Good.
Visits coming out Friday, so lots more content coming your way.
So much going on. Great stuff.
Appreciate y'all. Let's go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.